It's your boy Mike, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video. So this is what our tier list looked like just a couple of weeks ago before that Toppo dropped and some buffs happened. And I figured we'd go ahead and update the list and talk about all the things that have changed and where I would make the placements now, right? So starting off, we have the Gamas. They had a major buff with their just abilities, right? Not only is their 3 now not completely useless, but on top of that, the Gamma Strike is now such an early game killer. It is very insane. That being said, the health on Gamma 2 being reduced is definitely noticeable. There are a lot of times where you can just completely neuter this unit by going ahead and just killing Gamma 2 with like just one ability, right? Gamma 1 did get a health increase, which is definitely very nice, but again, when losing one Gamma means you either have to ult or you have to go all the way back to tower, it really is a noticeable difference. Overall, I think the changes do heavily impact them so that they do feel viable now, though, to the point where I think that they are at least in the high DPS A tier, where like if you have a really good Gammas, you can probably argue them for S, but I'm gonna put them in A because I think that there are still a couple issues that are very apparent. Again, Gamma 2 just dies very fast, and you only really lose that issue when you're ulting. But other than that, I think the overall changes were definitely good. They definitely feel like an option that doesn't like mean that you're throwing anymore, right? Like before, it's not Bojack bad, but it's right there, you know. And now it definitely feels like, oh, if I'm picking this guy, I feel like I'm okay with it, you know, like because there could be some crazy fucking Gamma plays. But it's I'm also gonna like update this. I feel like I'm gonna probably drop 18 as well, because the more I think about it, the more that, you know, I'm gonna actually, no, I'm gonna keep them. I take it back. I was gonna say I was gonna drop them because I feel like it's the same sort of thing where it's just crazy plays. But the thing is that the ult early game could be such a killer and a kill confirm that it's hard for me not to put them there. Next, we're gonna have Zamasu. Now, I think Zamasu is just gonna go up one tier. I think he went from being in the same tier as Cell to just being around the same tier as both Vegeta and, well just in an A tier in general, right? Because like beforehand, right, what would happen is if you weren't careful with Zamasu, his body regeneration would just go away and just consume before you were even able to get that, like that gauge that happened there, right, where it consumes the gauge and then you just aren't knocked out, right? Like you'll revive. Now it feels like that situation doesn't happen where you just lose the gauge too fast and you don't get the regeneration. And now I feel like it happens a lot more consistently. Overall, I think that there is still a lot of stuff that holds this character back. Like I don't believe the damage is just on the same tier as a lot of these other just tank type characters. Like if we go ahead and look at S and A, right, like we look at the two best tanks in the game, both of them do whatever Zamasu is doing but better. Khalifa has better survivability and Cooler has better damage output, in my opinion. So because of that, it's kind of like he's a jack of all trades but a master of none, where again it's not like a really necessarily throw pick to pick Zamasu. He is still a very decent character, but he's just slightly worse than Cooler and a decent bit worse than Khalifa, you know. And I think that does hurt, because like the buff was pretty nice, because again, now Cooler is the like right there with Baby, you know. And finally, we have Toppo. And dude, like it's hard to place him, because I want to put him in like the middle of A and B. I'll put him in A. Like it's so difficult to place him, right? Because genuinely, it's like if you get the Sphere of Destruction, you're golden. And it counters a lot of stuff. It counters Kamehameha. It counters like stuff like Spirit Bomb. It counters just a lot of these burst type moves. And the window isn't like the worst thing in the world. I think it's like a 2-second window from you using the ability to needing to get hit, you know? And it deals a lot of damage, but damn, does this guy take so much damage, man. He takes just like his defense, because the thing is that, again, we look at a lot of the other characters on this list, like, dude, I want to put him in NB. But then again, I don't know if I'd say he's as bad as Deborah. That's the issue. Anyways, we look at a lot of the other like DPS in this tier, and even in the higher tiers, and they all have some sort of escape option, but Toppo has jack shit. He has nothing. His escape option is his sphere. But most of the time you want to be using it not only as a defensive mechanic, of course, but also an offensive thing. Like you see someone like pressing up on top of you, and you're just like, you know what, fuck it. And then you're like, you just use your sphere, you know. But like, again, he can make some pretty crazy plays. Like his ult is also one that comes back like every 60 or so seconds. It's one of the smaller cooldowns in the game ult wise, and even with it being like a smaller cooldown, the damage on it is still very, very good. And it can make big plays for sure. That is one of the better parts about him, is his ult, right? But again, it's just like the main issue of this guy is, fuck, man, he has no escape options, so you're able to get caught so easily by a lot of these other characters. So it's like, man, I think I'm gonna have to do it. I think I'm just gonna have to leave him in A tier. Yeah, he's like the bottom of A tier though. Fuck Toppo. Bojack is still on the bottom. Like he's all the way on the bottom, dude. Because like, okay, to me, this is like the same thing as like Deborah in a sense. He's like a better Deborah. Of like, he can look very, very decent, and you can catch people off guard if they're not paying attention to the like damage over time that this guy is doing. But again, it's just I just want to fucking choke this guy out. Like I really don't like the playstyle of Toppo, in my opinion. But yeah, I think I like the overall placements of this, right? If you're wondering about the other placements, go ahead and watch the first video. I'll go ahead and link that down in the comments below. But thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.